Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast number 70 for February 2nd, 2019. I am Ryan Fogarty, here with my trusty co-host, as always, Mr. Matthew Vieira.
I'm going by Mantis Toboggan today.
Mantis Toboggan today?
MD.
MD? Is that a doctor thing, or is MD like there's a subliminal meaning there?
No, yeah, it's not medical doctor.
It's not medical.
It's definitely not medical
doctor.
doctor. No.
All right. So we'll leave that for later. And then we also have the producer extraordinaire, Mr. Mitchell Vieira, in the building. And before we get started, just a reminder, Average Nobodies are pretty much everywhere where you have an internet connection. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/theaverage-nobodies. We're on Twitter, @average-nobodies. Podcast is available on Stitcher Radio, iTunes.
Correct.
And then we do have the written word blog, one of the only ones left in existence.
Yes, yeah.
AverageNobodies.com.
Yeah. We're thinking about turning it back even more and starting to do stone and chisel and then take pictures of it and upload it to the blog.
I think that's a good idea because
it's going to be very time consuming.
It is. I mean, maybe there's a reason people don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But we'll be the first ones to do it. You can also find us in any search history of any Apple store in the Northeast, because every time I go into an Apple store, I search Average Nobodies on every single one. Just to let people know.
Just so it's there.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure they have my face up in the back. They don't let me in.
Don't let this man in.
He keeps going to these websites. They just yell at Danica Patrick all day.
Oh, that was the greatest. Go into the T-Mobile stores and just make prank phone calls from all the T-Mobile numbers.
Yeah, that was
They don't let you anymore do that.
Well, I remember we used to go. I forget what mall it was, I guess, but like when cell phone stores first became hot, me and my friends used to go in there before the movies and stuff, and we used to go. Oh, it was the one in Smithfield, right near Smithfield, whatever that was, Apple Valley Cinema. And we used to go in there, and you would text yourself from the phones that are on display. So then when you text yourself, you have the number of that phone that's on display. So then, like, when you were not at the store, you could call the phones. And if anybody answers the thing, you could, like, prank people that are in the store.
Very creative.
Yeah,
I never did that. I never would have thought of doing that.
I guess. Creative's a word for it, I guess.
Yeah. Creative's, I think, is a positive spin on what you're doing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So today's the 2nd. Today's, we're podcasting on the Saturday, and obviously tomorrow is going to be the highest rated TV show of the year, which it is every year, also known as the Super Bowl.
Yep. I want to get this out of the way because I think we say this every year, but the Monday after the Super Bowl should be a holiday.
100%.
It's the most important. It's one of the most important days of the year.
It really is.
Definitely. I mean, Christmas, Thanksgiving, sure.
Right.
But all these other holidays that you get days off for, I think we can do it out. Let's all celebrate that stuff on the day after the Super Bowl when I'm hungover in bed.
Yes. And the thing is, I'm sure Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that, it was maybe taboo to take that day off at one time.
Right.
Until it was made a holiday. Now it's just a norm.
Imagine when Christmas was first invented and they're just like, hey, yeah, so there's this new holiday and here it is, and like we're going to start taking it off from work.
Like, why does it off? Oh, it's Jesus' birthday.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Why do
I have it off? It's Jesus' birthday?
Imagine how insulting that is to people who like aren't religious and don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like now
so I have
it's
to
more
celebrate a made-up person's birthday?
Well, so
really?
Schwartz was I forget, like when we first started living together at Metcalf, his family doesn't like go all out for Christmas, but he's Jewish, but they celebrate Christmas. It's like
I think, take the holiday.
I think you're almost right, obviously.
Right. You can be internally upset about it, but take the holiday.
But we don't get Hanukkah off. We don't get Hanukkah.
That's true.
He's double dipping.
Kind of sucks.
That's true.
He does double dip, which is fine for him.
Which is fine. Yeah.
Right, but like he's kind of like a lot of Jewish families and other denominations are strong-armed into celebrating Christmas.
They are.
It's like you have no choice.
Because you kind of have to take it off. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere.
That's a good point.
I mean, well, you can get Chinese food, I guess, but nothing else is really open.
Yeah.
Chinese food and gas.
Let me tell you something. The hottest working people on the planet right there.
Chinese.
Open on Christmas Day. They don't take the holiday.
They do
No.
I don't think they know the word holiday.
No. They weren't looped in on the memo.
They
were not
for
included.
holidays.
They do not have a symbol for holiday. Let me tell you.
So before we get started on the Super Bowl, we're going to do our picks.
Yes.
I did some prop bets last night.
Excellent.
So I want to go through that quickly. But there's something going around now called the 17-year challenge. And the reason for that is tomorrow is 17 years to the day of Tom Brady winning his first Super Bowl against the Rams.
Shit.
So tomorrow...
Today is the Saturday. The day
No,
before.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the... Okay.
Yeah, the Sunday.
17
So
years.
Super Bowl
Right.
Sunday, February 3rd, is 17 years to the day of Brady and the Pats' first Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now they're playing the Rams again. Tom Brady's still in the Super Bowl. He's the only player, obviously, left.
Right,
from
he's
either
the only
team.
player. Yeah, that's crazy.
I was reading something. Some of his teammates are like in their late 50s that played with him on that team. But anyway, so 17 years ago today, or 17 years ago, Super Bowl Sunday, the 3rd. Yep. What were you doing? Where were you?
I was at home at my parents' house. Still lived there. It was 2000. Was it actually 2001?
2001. Yeah.
2001. February of 2001.
Because you figure you're only, 12 or?
I was in 6th grade. I hadn't gone to 7th grade yet. I was at McGuire School. Yeah. And I can remember being in the basement watching it downstairs, and my dad actually went to the game. He was there.
Really?
Yeah, he got Mitch. He got tickets through somebody, right?
Yeah,
a friend of his.
Like the radio guys, I think.
Yeah, and so he got tickets to the game, and I remember him saying, "This is hilarious." Now, Mom reminded me about it the other day. He's saying, "This is a once in a lifetime opportunity." Like
cheapens the whole thing now.
Absolutely. Cheap.
Well, they've been there 9 times in 18 years. Literally every other year.
It's still great. Like it's still great that it's still like it's the first one or whatever. But I remember my mom telling me the story of like how he would say, like looking back now, and you said this is the once in a lifetime
never be able to do
experience. I have
this
to
again.
go.
Yeah.
So he went to New Orleans and went to the game, and I can remember being downstairs and Vinatieri lining up for the final kick and like running upstairs to like watch the final kick with everybody who else was upstairs. Like I think Agati Su was over. There was a lot of people over.
Yeah, there was a lot of people because it was a fucking big deal. It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. So
crazy.
that is one of those sports moments that I do specifically, and even as like not necessarily a Patriots fan, just I remember being like swept up into, even at that time, like my Super Bowl would come the next year with the Bucks, but like even like I remember being swept up into like the whole like, you know, I can remember in '96 when the Patriots went to the Super Bowl and my dad in the AFC Championship game like basically tackled me off a chair in my living room, like celebrating.
Your dad's a huge Patriots fan.
A huge Patriots fan since as long as I can remember, since when they were bad. So yeah, he was actually so he was at the game that Brady got knocked out, that Bledsoe got knocked out too.
Wow,
he was at that game.
Year?
Yeah, that year. Yeah. So yeah.
Now, Mitch, I'm assuming
17.
very similar kind of story. Were you with Matt in the basement?
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we would run up and down for every score.
Yeah, food and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a big deal. I remember I went to this kid's house. This kid who I was at the time, I was in St. Pius.
Yeah.
You know, little Catholic schoolboy.
Yeah.
Good boy. I went to like a kid who was in a grade younger than me's house. He had this like ridiculous mansion in Lincoln.
Oh shit.
His parents were jewelers or something. That's what he said. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like Tony Soprano.
We all know what they
just
did.
like Tony Soprano.
Oh yeah, I'm watching The Sopranos. I know. Oh, you were in waste management.
Waste
Is that
management.
What you did?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we went, and I mean, I've never been a big football fan. Like my team, I guess I do associate with the 49ers.
Yeah.
But baseball's always been my sport. So I wasn't a Pats fan at all. But it was kind of cool to see like this franchise that had never won a Super Bowl before. So you had the adult generation, which we're at now, pretty much, maybe a little younger. But seeing their team in it as the ultimate underdogs. You know, they want to be known as the underdogs now, but
that's when they were.
That's when they were the
underdogs.
actual.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was like 12 or 13, maybe more.
Yeah,
they were, and it was Brady. Brady was just the guy who happened to take over when Bledsoe got hurt. He was a game manager. You know, he did okay, he did his thing, and. Yeah, I mean, it's something you'll never forget, even if you're not a Pats fan.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because we're from New England, I guess it's a little more significant because we have so many people around us that it meant so much to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's kind of cool. 17 years to the day. February 3rd, 2019. February 3rd, 2001. Or 18 years to the day, I guess.
The facts are, though, that with them going to 9 Super Bowls...
Yeah, this is his 9th.
With them going to 9 Super Bowls, it was only a matter of time before they played another team that they had already played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The odds are
they
that...
They played the Eagles twice, too.
What?
They played the Eagles twice, too.
They did.
Oh, that's right.
Because they beat T.O. and Andy
That's right.
Reid. And,
yeah. It's only a matter of time. I guess they're going to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Now they just run it... Was that after the Carolina Panthers Super Bowl, the Eagles?
Carolina Panthers was the second one.
Okay, so I think I was going to say they're working backwards.
So
they're going to play they play the Eagles and they play the Rams.
It's interesting,
03-04, right? 03.
Yeah, they went back to back. It went Patriots, Bucks, Patriots.
Patriots.
Steelers?
They played Arizona.
Yeah, I think it was. I was in college for the Steelers.
The first Steelers one?
Yeah.
The first
I think
Ben
that
one?
was 06.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's an unprecedented run in there. It can't be understated. It'll never happen again. In a league that's supposed to be all about parity and the way it's set up.
Yeah,
like something as dominant like
the salary cap era in the NFL is meant to eliminate dynasties.
Yeah. And I got a feeling the way Tom Brady plays and the way he takes care of himself, in 17 years we might be doing the 17-year challenge again, where Tom Brady's playing in the Super Bowl again against another Rams team.
This is his 30th Super Bowl.
Yes, 30th Super Bowl.
I don't know. He might not be a human being. It's possible. I'm not going to rule it out.
No, I can't rule it out.
So one of my favorite things about the Super Bowl is the prop bets. Now, I'm not really a bettor. You know, if anyone knows me, I don't think winning and luck would go hand in hand with my name.
No.
But I do like betting the prop bets at the Super Bowl. And Bovada.com, it's actually sponsoring, I believe, this podcast.
Yes.
It's a really good site, very user-friendly, really easy to bet. So I put some bets together. But there's a lot of interesting prop bets out there. So one of them, which it's not that unusual, but the Super Bowl MVP. So the favorite right now, the top three are Brady, Goff, and Todd Gurley, who hasn't really been a factor for the Rams. But you can, if you bet $100 on Gurley,
you win. I bet
you win 900.
Okay.
I mean, he's the third favorite. Like Brady is the clear favorite.
I don't see that. I don't see Gurley doing well against the Patriots defensive line.
He hasn't really been playing
really
either.
well.
I mean, you had
No,
C.J. Anderson.
Really, I honestly is James White on there at all?
James White is 7th. So
really,
2,000 plus 2,000.
Jesus.
So you bet $100, you win $2,000.
That's not a bad bet.
It's not.
That's really not. I mean, he was the star of the show, the Falcons year, right? He was right, James White.
Yeah, he broke their receptions record,
right?
But he still didn't win MVP.
He didn't win MVP, but if he has another performance like that, it's gonna be tough not to give it to him.
I know, but how did you not give it to him then? How did he breaks the receptions record, scores the game-winning touchdown, and he still didn't win?
Yeah,
he gave it to Brady.
I guess you're right.
So I think they're thinking like if White has a good game, it's because Brady's throwing the ball.
Yeah.
So they're probably gonna get it to Brady. But the defensive players are the interesting ones. So you got obviously the best defensive player in the game is Donald. Aaron Donald is actually better odds than James White.
That's crazy.
Worse odds than James White, I guess. He's more of a favorite than James White.
What number is he at?
Plus 1,800. He's tied with C.J. Anderson. I think Gronk is a good... I mean, you could get Gronk at a steal just because I think everyone thinks he's going to be blocking.
When was the last defensive player to win MVP?
It's a good question.
It might be 2002. It might be Dexter Jackson with the Bucks. Hold on. Let's look. You keep going. I'll look this up.
So another one which is always interesting is the national anthem. So Gladys Knight, they really pulled out all the stops this year, is singing the national anthem.
The Pips?
I don't know if the Pips are going to be there.
Who is it?
Gladys Knight.
The Pips, man.
But her over-under is extremely low.
What's
the over-under is a minute 49.
What is like an average? What is
like last year it was 2:26.
Right, yeah, I
remember.
think
the older the performer, the quicker it's going to be.
So they think she's going to zip through it?
I don't think she's going to zip through it, but I think she'll go at a nice pace.
A minute 49 is pretty... That's zipping through it.
That's zipping.
Because you're not holding any note. You're not... because it's from the first word. Mm-hmm. So they can do all the lead-up they want.
Yeah. Because they don't want to... If the older the person is, they don't want to stand up there for a long time.
That's true.
Not that long ago, actually. Von Miller won in Super Bowl 50. Malcolm Smith won with the Seahawks.
So it's happened more often than we think.
Yeah, but before that, it was a lot of quarterback. Dexter Jackson. Before that, it was so there's been 3 in the last 20 years. Ray Lewis
not that often.
Won his, yeah.
I mean, you got another one. So will Gladys Knight forget a word from the national anthem? That's a bet you can take.
Now that's I would take that bet.
So she's actually.
What are the odds to see someone humiliate themselves?
Well, for her, the odds are no. Like you got better odds. They don't think it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. But you win more if she does.
Yeah, you win more if she does. So it's plus 300 if she does. So if you bet $10, you win 30.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you bet 100, you win 300. if she forgets a word.
Now,
Well, you got to bet $100 on that.
Is it just forgetting a word? Is there details in there for
It
like?
says, will Gladys
better
Knight
odds.
forget or omit a word?
Okay.
Which I don't know how we're going to prove that she purposely omitted a word.
Yeah,
I
right.
think it's just if she forgets.
forgot, yeah.
There's another one which is interesting, which it's the same odds, like very rarely going to happen. Will a player take a knee during the national anthem?
You know what? That's tough because how do you?
Because a player could and they don't film it.
The broadcast, right? That's what I'm saying. The broadcast, if players are still kneeling, and I am not sure if they are or not, the broadcast hasn't been showing them at all. The broadcast don't show
Which, yeah.
the sidelines really at all. They stay away unless the player is standing up and they're doing.
And I'm
it close
surprised
with
they
their
did it
face.
this year. I can understand last year why
Yeah.
they would include this in there, but this year it's interesting.
It's the biggest stage. It might be like LeBron James today was wearing a Colin Kaepernick jersey going into one of the games, going into one of his games. So maybe it's like it's the biggest weekend for the Super Bowl. Maybe this is the time to make an example. What's the odds on that?
So it's favored to be no. So it's plus 275 for yes. So if you bet $100, you win 275.
That's pretty good
Yeah, if they do it.
if they do it.
If they do it.
That's a pretty. I would
So you bet 100 to win
take that
45.
bet. I would kind of guess that they were going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's one, will any scoring drive take less time than it takes Gladys Knight to sing the national anthem?
So a minute 26.
A minute 49 is the over-under.
A drive take less. Than...
So would you just have like a
Are we
one-
talking game clock?
Yeah. Game clock.
Where are these odds?
So you need
Bovada.
you need a big score. You need a big.
You need like a long touchdown pass or short field.
and a field goal.
Yeah. So you could have something like, it's interesting because I feel like the Patriots always have that at the end of a half.
Yeah.
Like they score in less than a minute 49.
What are the odds for yes or no?
It's pretty much even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A score, a touchdown, or a field goal?
Any score. Yep. Yeah, scoring drive.
There's
yeah,
really
as long as
no
they score.
big play guys on either team. Like if this was Mahomes in the Super Bowl, I would bet that.
Yeah.
Like if this was the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I'd probably bet that.
And they have the bet on Ted Rath. He's the coach who holds back Sean McVay. How many times will he be mentioned during the podcast? The over-under's 3.5 podcast.
the Gamecast?
We're podcasting the Super Bowl.
Right.
3.5 is the over-under.
Who is? I'm assuming Joe Buck's fucking doing it.
No, it's Romo and Jim Nantz.
No way.
I'm very excited for Romo.
Is it
I
really?
love Romo.
I do too.
I loved Romo as a player, so
I mean, he's
I'm
a
all in.
fantastic broadcaster.
Okay. All right.
So Ted Rath, how many times will he be mentioned? Over/under. So the favorite is for it to be under 3.5.
I love that video. If anybody hasn't seen that video, go online and search
It's
him.
very funny.
He just like
Does he really not do anything else?
He just manhandles him. I'm sure he has. I'm sure that it's not game time. He has other like
hope so.
other like duties, but like he literally just wrangles him. He just goes up and it's hilarious. And McVay is not phased at all by it. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hilarious.
It's like
he doesn't
nobody's
even know
touching
what's
him.
happening. It's like
Yeah.
gravity pulling him back. Like no one's even
He's just
behind him.
used to it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny that he's so oblivious to what's going on. Like he would if it wasn't for that guy, he would just be in the middle of the field.
Oh
He
yeah.
would be like Tom with tripping players.
Yeah.
Yeah, except
And-
not on purpose.
And then they have how many replays will be shown of Ted holding Sean McVay back during the game. The over/under is 1.5. How many times will the broadcast mention Sean McVay's age? Again, over/under is 1.5.
I'd take the how many they mentioned? They're gonna
So if they mention
his
it
age
twice.
1,000 times.
Yeah, but it's so the stipulation
Oh,
is
so the odds aren't great, right?
they must mention that he is 33 to count for one. Must be mentioned in relation to his age to count.
They
towards it.
like saying he's young.
yeah. You
won't-
can't just say like he's
okay,
the
okay.
youngest coach.
Is he the youngest coach to ever coach in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah, they're making a big deal
Yeah.
about it.
I mean,
is he
Gruden
the youngest?
must have been
Is he?
close,
Will he be the youngest coach to ever win? I guess. Right. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
make sense.
It would make sense.
Right now, it's who is it right now?
Gruden's got to be up.
I would
there.
say I think it was
Or down there.
I think at the time it was Gruden. Now, he held it for a little bit.
They also have Romo on there. Like how many plays will Tony Romo correctly predict? But the thing is, like,
That's
do you-
up to
if you're
interpretation.
and if
Yeah,
you're
how do
betting
you
on
do
that,
that?
you're not enjoying the game.
Yeah, no.
Like, because now you're just like, wait, did he predict that game?
Yeah.
So there's a lot on there. If you want to go to Bovada, you just click on sports, click on football, Super Bowl prop bets. There's a goddamn million of them to look on. As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah, what are you taking?
I made 7.
Okay.
So I bet $100 total.
So here's your free picks.
Here's your free picks.
For
If
the
you
prop
want to bet
bets.
$100 to win $1,035.75, you can take these 7 bets.
And ladies and gentlemen, these are sure things.
Sure things.
So bet the mortgage on these.
Yeah, bet them. If you have a mortgage, put it on this.
Max bet, best bet.
So James Devlin is the first score of the game.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
I put $10 to
I
win.
like it.
$10 to win 300.
It's a drawn out. It's a drawn out
Like
blade. It's a drawn out Patriots
Long drive.
drive and fucking Devlin
Third and
bangs
goal,
it in. Absolutely.
Fullback
I
dive.
can absolutely see that.
I like it.
Over 1.5 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Over one.
So each team scores 1, or one team scores 2. I think it's gonna go over 1.5.
Over 1.5 in the first quarter.
Yep.
If the Patriots get the ball first, they score on like a ridiculous percentage when they get the ball first. They score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So you're really not hoping for long drives,
Right.
if for this particular bet. But it's only $15 to win 1875.
Would you think about parlaying that with?
So you can't parlay the props because it's too wild.
I was gonna say you could parlay.
Because I could
it
end up if I parlayed some of these, I would
Gladys
win
Knight.
like $10,000.
Yeah, right.
It's just a little too crazy. A player to score 2 or more touchdowns. So 2 or more. And I bet James White.
okay. That's a good bet. That's what I would say.
$15 to
That's
win
what I would
120.
say. I also have a feeling that Gronk might have a couple.
See, I was thinking the same thing, but I really think he's going to be in there blocking
You
for
think
the
so?
most part. Well, you got Sue, Donald, Dante Fowler.
Right.
He's going to be in there blocking.
Yeah.
But he could. You never know.
This could be his. I mean,
This is a swan
Belichick
song.
might know. Yeah, exactly.
Mitch, turn that mic to you because right now it's not really recording anything. There you go.
I got New England scoring first and the Rams winning.
Really?
So, which will segue into our next section. But
Okay.
New England scoring first, Rams winning. You bet 15 to win 52.50. I am also betting on the Pats being up by 10 to 12. So 10, 11, or 12 at the half.
Okay.
So I bet 15 to win 135. I'm betting the money line on the Rams to come back and win, meaning they just got to win straight up, no
Okay.
spread.
Yeah.
That's $15 to win 19.50. But exactly, I'm picking the Rams to win by 1 point on a last-second field goal. $15 to win 390. So
$15 to win $390.
So all these 7 bets total $100 total. I bet $15 on each one except for the Devlin one.
Yeah.
And if I win all of them, I win $1,035.75.
That's pretty awesome. You did all that through Bovada?
All through Bovada.
How's Bovada with getting your money out?
Easy.
Yeah?
Super easy. Yep.
Okay.
They credit your card, you wire it, whatever.
Okay.
Very easy. But, so I think the Rams are going to win by 1 in a come-from-behind type of game.
Okay.
Pats are up by 10 to 12. Hopefully, literally 10 to
Yeah.
12 at halftime. Then the Rams come back, win a last-second field goal by Greg DeLeg. Who you got? Pats or Rams?
I got Pats. I gotta stick. I don't exactly know what the flow of the game is gonna be. It could be a Patriots game where you're fucking on the edge of your seat the whole time. It could be a Patriots game where, like, at the end it seemed like it was close, but really they had it the whole time. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna be the Patriots. I don't think you can bet against Brady.
You almost don't want them to be up. I feel like at the end of the game, you want them to have a comeback drive. I feel.
Yeah.
Because we did talk about this last week, and they were an inch or two away from blowing a lead against the Chiefs if it wasn't for that offsides.
And totally changing the narrative of what the game was, too.
I think it's gonna actually come true this.
I think
tomorrow.
so.
I think it's gonna be. They'll be up at halftime. I think again, hopefully by 10, 11, or 12 points.
Yeah.
And then I just think I don't know. The Rams have so many weapons,
Yeah,
and Goff reminds me of a Nick Foles, where he's not necessarily the guy I would want for 16, 17, 18 weeks.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when he needs to make a play in the fourth quarter or needs to make a play, like it could be a huge play in the second quarter to keep a drive alive. I think he's gonna figure something out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be. I think that the Chiefs Pats was the game of the year. I think that
Yeah.
like it was. There was a lot of like that. There's a few things that go one way, go the other way. The game is completely different. But I think that was like the game of the year. I think the Patriots are still like. I think this is still a tough matchup for them. I just think that I don't know. You can't, and especially coming off of a loss of a Super Bowl. Like I think they're gonna be pulling out everything tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see them losing 2 Super Bowls in a row.
You got the Pats?
Yeah, I got that. I just can't bet against them.
Yeah.
I just can't bet against them. But I will say, to contradict my prediction,
Yeah.
I will say that every year they lost the Super Bowl, they went up against a fantastic rush defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not rush defense. I'm sorry.
Defensive
Pass
line.
rush.
Yeah.
Defensive line.
Strahan with the Giants.
The Giants. I mean,
Twice.
that was incredible.
But that was Tuck, Strahan,
incredible defensive.
Pierre
line.
Paul.
Oh yeah,
Pierre Escargot.
in their prime.
Keenan
In his
Thompson.
prime. Before he
Before
lost
the
his
fingers, and now he's in Tampa. A broken man.
Now he's got another mitt.
He still plays.
Yeah, he's in. He actually
had a pretty good year, right?
Yeah, he actually did have a pretty
Imagine
good year.
that.
Yeah. Although having a club for a hand might be an advantage.
Can
as a
he
defensive
chop in
player.
the neck? Probably not.
I don't think anybody can really chop anybody in the neck. But
Well, is it in the rule book though?
I don't think it's in the rule book. Maybe it'll be the Pierre Paul rule, or maybe it could be the Ron Fogarty rule.
Yeah.
See? Join the XFL.
This is the XFL. Well, we got 2 Pats and a Rams, and you know what? The reason why I bet on the Rams is because my wife, my father-in-law, a lot of my close friends are very, very big Patriots fans.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want them to win.
Yeah.
But I could care less if they do. They've had enough. You know, this isn't the Red Sox with an 86-year curse.
Yeah.
They need to break it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be heartbroken if the Patriots lose. I just won't be. But I am going to be super pissed if I bet on the Pats to win and they lose.
Yeah.
So not only do they lose, but I lose money.
Yeah.
So for this, you know, if the Rams lose, whatever. You know, at least my wife and friends will be happy.
Yes.
But I couldn't bet on the Pats, have the Rams win. So not only am I, you know, like pissed that the Pats, like I have to deal with everyone being pissed that the Pats lost, but now I have to deal that I didn't bet correctly. So.
Right. Yeah. I feel you.
But I mean,
It's gonna be close.
Brady's never played in a Super Bowl that hasn't had a lead or a tie, a lead change or a tie in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
It's just always close. So I mean, and there's a reason for it. It's the 2 best teams. But we'll see. We shall see. So moving on. This is a new segment we wanted to try.
Yeah. So we're working on the name, but I think
Working on the lane, but I think this one is really going to catch on. So it's lightning round news stories from hell that we don't want to elaborate on.
okay. I like it.
All
I think it's catchy. Rolls right off the tongue.
First topic: KFC fried chicken Cheeto sandwich. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in,
I'm in.
Mitch? In? Fried chicken Cheeto sandwich.
No.
From KFC though. Still no?
I don't like Cheetos.
So it's gonna be Cheetos. I'm assuming it's gonna be
I think
a
it's like
chicken.
Cheetos dust. Coated.
Yeah, a cotton thing. I'm in. I'm absolutely in.
I'm in.
KFC has been innovating ever since they came up with the double down sandwich, which is just 2 pieces of chicken as the bread, which is an insane
First
thing
of
to
all,
think
can
of.
we?
So much chicken.
I feel like I need to get this off my chest.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Fast food joints, they don't actually come out with new things. It's
Oh, they
just
remix.
It's just the ingredients
Yeah.
layered a different
Yeah.
way.
Well, Taco Bell's the biggest culprit of that. Taco Bell has taco shells, hard and soft, meat, lettuce, tomato, and sour cream, and cheese, and they somehow make a fucking menu that's a million different things. But I am in on this. That sounds something delicious. I'd do that.
I think I'm in too.
Yeah.
New restaurant opening in Boston called Spice with a Y, Spyce. So it has human servers,
Okay.
normal, robot chefs.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's the perfect way for a waiter to come up to you and serve you food, and then when the food's wrong, they can be like, well, I don't know what the robots are doing.
The
back
chef's a
there.
robot.
And you have to be like, yeah, I guess I understand, but I don't know why I came here in the first place because I knew my food was probably gonna be wrong. There has to be a very limited menu, I'd assume.
And I have to assume there's no substitution.
No, I don't think. I think however it comes on the menu is how that robot's cooking it. I don't think it really makes a difference. That robot could give a fuck if you're gluten free or not. That robot could give a fuck less.
No tomatoes on the sandwich. There's a robot back there. I don't
imagine
know
you go to the waiter, you have a horrible peanut allergy, and you're like, I can't have French fries that are cooked in the same thing as like with peanuts or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'll put it in as a suggestion to the robot. The robot doesn't care. The robot is going to kill you if you have allergies. If you have allergies, if you have any kind of like you get sick when you eat food, do not go to the robot restaurant.
I agree. Mitch, what do you think?
This sounds like an idea that was born in Japan, or something like that. The
Made its way to
capital of
Boston, though.
Weird ideas of just weird shit.
In Japan, the servers are robots and the chefs are animals. That's what it would be like in Japan.
Really?
Wow.
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
I was going to say, what a goddamn crazy. Who's the manager?
So there's no manager. There's no manager.
Why am I here?
The manager is human. And the
Oh,
manager's
he is a
like,
manager.
why did I ever take this job?
The robots in the
It's
the
monkeys
animals.
in the kitchen, and it's robot servers. And
Dolphins
you
are pretty smart.
you go in there and you don't get served.
No.
You're not getting anything.
No.
It's a fucking mess.
You're not. It's a fucking mess.
It's goddamn anarchy.
You're not getting anything.
Gwyneth Paltrow. She's being sued because she skied into someone
And skied away.
And skied away.
What a bitch! I'll go on the record saying I never liked Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, she's very pretentious.
Yeah, she started that website Goop. Goop.
Goop. GOOP.
And it's like a
It's like a skincare, like.
yeah, but they do all these weird, like, I remember on Goop there was, like, you remember a few years ago they had the thing where, like, if they were telling girls to stick jade eggs up their vaginas,
No,
and like medical doctors were like, please don't do this. Like, it's not going to help you. It's just going to hurt you.
Gwyneth Paltrow reminds me of a witch that sucks the youth out of young women.
And her skin just gets tighter and tighter.
And it just gets tighter and tighter.
She's got pop soon.
All of those articles on Goop is like, you know, crystals and this and that.
Yeah.
And like it's weird.
It's like a shopping guide. Here's a $600,000 curtain for your dining room.
Yeah, right.
I can't buy that.
Macaulay Culkin started a website called bunnyears.com where his whole idea for starting the website, and they have podcasts, they make money, it's a satire blog. The whole reason for starting it is to make fun of Goop. That's the
amazing.
whole reason why he started it. Bunnyears.com. Hilarious.
So taking Gwyneth Paltrow out of this, what's the skiing etiquette? I'm not a skier. If you bump into somebody, do you ski away? Do
How
you check
bad
on
was
them
the
quickly?
bump?
So yeah, that I guess we have to look into how bad the bump is, right? Because I don't ski, I snowboard. But if I snowboard into somebody and they fell over, I would stop and like be like, "Hey, are you all right?" and help them up or whatever. If they were able to get up, I'd be fine. If they couldn't get up, I'd be like, have to.
If you like,
I would feel like I have to get somebody.
I just don't understand the grounds of suing someone. I feel like if this wasn't Gwyneth Paltrow, they're not getting sued.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You're only suing her because she's Gwyneth Paltrow.
But how could you know it's Gwyneth Paltrow though? If
That's
she has
what I'm saying.
if she has a mask and a face,
I picture her skiing and it's just her and like
it's her face on a jacket.
$500,000 scarf or
Just
something.
down the arm, Gwyneth.
Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
I'm
Gwyneth Paltrow.
I'm gonna take everybody out today.
And how did you know that it was Gwyneth Paltrow? Well, she was screaming it the whole way
you'd
down
say
the road.
that.
sounds like a scene from Family Guy or something like that.
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
This is fucking
Well, Family Guy will
absolutely
definitely be
insane.
covering this if
Yeah.
they haven't already, or South Park.
Well, they're not gonna make any
Gay jokes.
gay
Yeah.
jokes anymore, or
Is that what they said? No more gay jokes?
yeah, they're not gonna make any gay jokes or like anything like that. Just cancel the show.
It's a satire show.
This shows like this cannot exist.
Right.
Jerry
Just don't have a show.
Seinfeld said it best. It's like if you take anything like a joke any other way than it is a joke, then
Right.
you threaten the entire art form of comedy.
You cannot like it,
yeah,
which is fine.
And
You
like-
say it's a stupid joke, it's a bad
Yeah.
joke. But to say you can't talk,
yeah.
Like I got
Yeah.
a big nose.
And please don't quote me on that Jerry Seinfeld thing. I don't know if that's the
If
exact
I
quote,
if
but
I
that's
if
the
I
gist.
think
wanted
that's
to, I
exactly
could make a fucking group of people with all big noses and go to the big schnoz brigade and we'll start a petition. We'll make a big deal about it. If you get enough people and make a big deal about it, then I don't think I'll be like the
then
next.
you'll have a movement.
I'll be the next. Begin the Arthur Macmillan Courageous Award up there, whatever the fuck
Arthur
it's
Ashe.
called. Arthur Ashe Courage Award.
Arthur McMillan. It's coming soon. It hasn't been revealed yet. So sinkhole in Florida.
I love this. So all right, so I pulled this one
You
down.
did. So you.
So there was this. They found this sinkhole in the middle of the road in Florida,
phone.
and they bring the mic closer to you, Mitch, too. Like
Oh,
just like can you slide it up or put it up on your.
Well, it's tough. I gotta like
Yeah, I know you're trying
balance
to
it
switch.
over
And,
there.
so the sinkhole they found in the middle of a street in Florida. Come to find out that like in the sinkhole there was a tunnel that was leading to a bank, underground to a bank, like out of a fucking movie, like out of a fucking heist movie.
Florida finally descending into the pits of hell.
Florida,
It's not surprising that
this. You know what though? The Floridians couldn't have done this.
No. It had to be an out of towner. Had to be an out of
It
towner.
had to be someone. It had to be someone from out of town.
That's a good
And I
point.
checked it, and it was like I think it was. I don't know where in Florida it was, but I think it was like northern Florida. I'm like, it had to be someone that came right over the border from Georgia.
Yeah.
To do
Now,
this,
did
'cause
it
there's
make it to
nobody.
the bank?
Yeah,
It did.
So I think it was in the bank parking lot is where they
Wow.
found it. So across the street, a few hundred yards away, is where the actual entrance was in this yard. And the sinkhole in the street was just from they dug too close to the street level, and part of the street fell in. And so the tunnel was like going. That's not like the entrance wasn't in the middle of the street. If the entrance was in the middle of the street, then I'm like, okay, someone from Florida is in on this. But
You're so
it was
far
like,
off.
So
interesting.
interesting, like a fucking movie heist.
That's not gonna work. How's that gonna work? They have like all sensors and stuff and banks and stuff now.
I mean, they must. I mean, maybe someone was on the they had
movie
someone
fan.
on the inside. They knew like there was a soft wall or whatever.
What, they have a stick of Acme dynamite too.
Yeah, I
They're
don't
gonna
know.
blow the safe open with.
Yeah, or like Andy Dufresne, they got a picture up. They got a poster hanging up in the bank.
Mm.
I don't know.
And then our final lightning round news story from hell that we don't want to elaborate on: Donald Trump Jr. taken after his dad. So he tweeted. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't.
But he quote tweeted something, so obviously something that he didn't agree with.
Yeah.
And said this is like a funny version of an S and L sketch. So S and then like the
Ampersand.
ampersand.
And
So
yeah.
So he thinks the N in SNL stands for and, apparently. I mean that.
And live from New York, it's Saturday and
He's never watched Saturday Night Live.
he's never.
He's never. It's like his father's never been to the supermarket. He doesn't know what a TV is. I would pay money to watch him use like a high tech TV remote. Like turn on the sounds, turn on the TV.
Well, thank God we have voice activated things so you can just tell whatever to do, whatever. But
It's not surprising, but it's very
hilarious. Oh, so
very
funny.
very funny.
I forget who quote tweeted and did that. Live from New York, it's Chris Captain America.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Yeah,
It's
Chris
Saturday and
So good. Oh, so
oh
good.
man.
So that was our lightning round news stories from hell that we don't want to elaborate on.
I think it was successful.
I think that's gonna stick.
I think
I like that. I like that a lot.
Because there's a lot of like good stories that we don't have to spend a half hour on.
Yeah, no,
just funny. We can chat about it quick. So I think it went well.
Let's talk.
I think you guys missed one though.
Hit us.
There's
Put that camera on you. Hit
the
us.
guy in
Tell the people.
there's this guy in Florida I think it's Florida. I think it was in Florida.
Probably.
This meth head. His wife was like in hospice. Checked her out of the hospital.
Boy.
Threw some fucking rager party, like this meth party with like cocaine and meth and shit, like because they just wanted to party together for like her last couple hours.
Cured her.
And like he was like, when the cops arrived, the lady was washed, wrapped in a blanket, like this dude was gonna mummify her. And he was, and I don't know.
Wait,
the
she
article
died?
said,
She died at the party?
Yeah, she died. Oh God, yeah, she died. He checked her out, so that they
I thought this was gonna be a
one last
curing.
time. And you gotta see the picture of this guy. You gotta look up the picture of this guy.
I think I saw
exactly,
a picture.
exactly what you're picturing in your head. This is what this guy.
I just
looks
picture his eyes are like as wide as my entire face.
bugging out. He's like his like skin is like peeling off his face in scabs.
I picture like Skinny Pete from
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Whew. That's an interesting to try and mummify somebody with a blanket. Like, how do you think the blanket's gonna last over the years?
He washed the body like the blood of Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
I mean, I guess she died as she lived. You know, she lived life to the edge. Apparently.
You gotta read the article. It's infinitely more funny.
So
than what
he checked her out of the hospital. So he didn't have any legal. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, they just wanted to.
I mean, they were doing illegal drugs, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You gotta read the article. It's hilarious.
Okay.
So anyone just look up Florida cocaine meth.
I think it was
Mummified.
Florida. I'm like,
It has to be Florida.
has to be.
If it's not Florida, I'm
sure.
gonna be very upset.
I'm
I'll be very
95%
disappointed.
sure.
I'll be very
Yeah.
disappointed.
So slightly switching gears, just
Yes.
ever so slightly, to pro wrestling.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan has kind of taken the entire world, by storm with his new character. He's the new Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
If you're not a wrestling fan, I can understand you not being interested in this topic, but his character is very it really links to a lot of issues outside of wrestling. A lot of not necessarily political, but just issues in general. So the new Daniel Bryan is someone he's vegan, which the actual man, Bryan Danielson, the actual wrestler, is vegan. He's very pro-earth. He's pro-climate change. Not that he supports climate change, but he believes in it.
Yes.
And his character is this really great, fully formed character. And now on Tuesday's SmackDown, which is one of the weekly wrestling shows on the USA Network, he introduced a new belt. So championship belts, which you may not know, it's just metal and different types of metals.
Yeah, leather base, metal on top.
Cowhide,
Very
things like that.
very
gaudy.
Yeah.
And his new belt is actually legitimately made 100% hemp and 100% wood from a chopped down tree.
It's so cool.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's so drastically different from anything else. But I wanted to take a couple minutes just to talk about his character. I know you're a big fan of the turn it's taken.
I love it's an amazing turn of the character. I want to talk about the belt again. I love this because this harkens back to like 90s wrestling, the Attitude Era wrestling. A lot of times when characters got the belts, they were customized or like
the Smoking Skull belt, the Brahma Bull belt.
Right.
Yeah.
They were so cool. Or I mean, this is like a little different, but like when NWO had the WCW championship and they spray painted NWO on it, that's a really cool thing. Like that. So for like now, instead of just like, because WWE was doing this thing for a while, and I think they're still doing it, where the two little things on the side of the belt get swapped out to represent what character is. Yeah. So you get like the if you have a special like slogan or icon or a little graphic, it goes on those things. I get that. This is totally cool. I love it. I love that this is Daniel Bryan's belt. He's the champion. He's gonna hold it for a while. I feel like
he will, at least through or till WrestleMania.
Yeah. And I just love the character. He's a bad guy. But what other thing in the world can a bad guy who is like environmentally friendly, vegan, like cares about animals, cares about the environment, and him be a bad guy? It's wrestling.
It's wrestling. That's pro wrestling at its best, really. If you take a deep dive into the character, like you said, everything he supports and everything he does is good.
Yeah.
But I love it. He had a promo with Vince McMahon a couple weeks ago where Vince was trying to kind of like assert his authority, and he just went off on him. And he's like, your generation, the baby boomers, who are always so praised, you're the reason we're in the situation we're in. You're the people who have neglected climate change for so long. You're the people who are into the mass consumption of animals and meat. And, like, it was pitch perfect. Because it's all true, scientifically backed up, but he's a bad guy because people don't want to hear that.
Yes.
My life's easier if I don't know about that stuff. Yeah. But I'm super excited. We're going to WrestleMania.
Yep.
We'll be there where, fingers crossed, he'll be defending that new belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we wanted to give a quick shout out to Daniel Bryan if you're listening, which I know he listens usually weekly.
yeah. Daniel Bryan, thanks for listening. A great story too about Daniel Bryan, how he was pretty much done with wrestling. He was out, doctors wouldn't clear him to come back, and then he fought his way. I don't know the details on what his doctors told him, but to be able to wrestle again, they would have had to have been like, you can wrestle. Like they would have had to tell him he was like clear, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, the thing with wrestling is it's always so blurred of what's real and what's not. But now with the internet age and everything, you can really find out what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why his character is so important to him is because when he did have all those concussions and he had lesions on his brain that were causing seizures.
Yeah.
And he was married to another wrestler, Brie Bella, and they wanted to have a family. And now, you can't selfishly think of, I'll injure my brain until I can't walk anymore.
Right.
It's like, no, I want to be a dad in 15 years at 50 years old.
Yeah.
But I think what helped him, and I know it's similar to with Brady and why he's stayed so healthy at an advanced age for a professional athlete, is the diet.
Yeah.
I mean, he went vegan and it literally changed his body and changed his brain.
Yeah.
It just got him healthier. And he kept going to the doctors, taking the impact tests. And now, I mean, till this day, after every match he goes back and he takes an impact test with the WWE doctors.
Yeah.
And if you fail, he has a handshake deal with them that if you fail, we're not letting you wrestle again.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking out for him.
Right, absolutely.
They're looking out for him. Yeah. Selfishly, they're looking out for their company, concussion lawsuits and things like that, especially with what's going on with the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think that's why his character, it's so good, is because it's real. I mean, he's really a vegan.
Yeah.
He's really believes in all these things he's saying.
I remember he was on, I think it was Colt Cabana's podcast, back like when he was doing his first run at the title, like before he got hurt. And he was telling Colt Cabana, if it was Colt Cabana, the story about when he first started like wrestling and working out. He would always be like sick, and his body would get like rashes and like things like that,
and
like
welts.
Yeah, and so they found out that like his body, the energy that it was putting into processing the meat, was like causing his body to like lack in other places, which was like his immune system. So he stopped eating meat; it instantly got better. And then I think he went vegetarian for a while, and then obviously now he is ultimately vegan. But
because if you look up old pictures of him, like mid-match, he'd have these welts because he just wears the underwear, trunks. So he would have these huge welts on like his abs and his back.
Yeah.
And like it was every match.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, he got hit with a chair or like he got punched somewhere.
Yeah.
It was like abnormal.
Yeah.
But now you very rarely see it. I mean, he looks great.
Mm-hmm.
He's dynamite on the mic.
He looks just as good in the ring as he ever has.
Yeah. I really wish he needs to get. I want him to be a little cleaner shaven.
Yeah.
I think it would fit that character. Although, you know,
The mountain man beard.
hippy dippy, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
it's
very
overused, but
He's very like he is from the Northwest, but he's
Yeah.
very like the Northwestern character. Like
He is.
You know, the hipster-ish, mountain person.
Yeah. But yeah, I love what he's doing. I can't wait to keep watching him. I can't wait to see him at Mania.
Yes,
It's gonna be awesome.
Very excited to see him live.
Now, on to the divisive topic of the night.
And I don't even think Mitch knows what this topic's going to be.
Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Released their trailer February 1, 2018.
Yeah.
Mitch has got the for it. Matt's got the yoo.
Very excited for it. Very excited.
So I want a discussion. What are the pros? What are the cons? Because I'm gonna kind of step back on this one.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Fast and the Furious featuring The Rock.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first two, so I'll put my 2 cents in where I can.
So before we start, I want to do a little like a how we got here type moment. So Fast and Furious obviously starts off with the classic original Fast and Furious. You got Paul Walker, you got Vin Diesel, you've got Michelle Rodriguez, you got Jordana Brewster, and a bunch of other characters that have. Tyrese not even in the first one.
Really?
Tyrese not in the first one. No. Who else is in the first one? Yeah, a bunch of actors that like now you know through the series, but you didn't really know them at first. You also lost a few actors. But this movie defined a generation, I think, and it was perfectly in line with me growing up through middle school and high school, where like these Fast and Furious movies came out, and everybody was pretty. And I'm sure that's still. Like a culture to an extent, but I don't think as much as it was. Like everybody was obsessed with their cars. I think like there was a more obsession with like car music and the way your car looked and your wheels and how fast it was and street racing because of these Fast and Furious movies. So you got the first Fast and Furious. It's about them racing cars. There's a little bit of a heist, aspect of it, but it's them stealing cars. It's them racing cars. Then you go into Too Fast and Furious, you get Tyrese comes into the fold. That's where you get Tyrese. You lose Vin Diesel, but you get Tyrese. You get, what is her name? I'm forgetting her name. Damn.
The sister?
No, not the sister. Jordana Brewster isn't in the second one. It's, damn, she's in a ton of movies. Can't think of her. Mitch, who's in Too Fast and Furious? Who's the girl in Too Fast and Furious?
Rodriguez?
No. It's, fuck. Shit, I'm really blowing it right now. She's the girl in Hitch.
Eva Mendes.
Yes, Eva Mendes. Eva Mendes is in Too Fast and Furious. She makes an appearance later on. But then it gets to a weird point where like Too Fast and Furious is still about cars, still about racing. Fast and Furious 3 comes around Tokyo Drift and is a totally different spin on these movies. You move to Tokyo, you meet a new character named Han that comes back later in the series. It's about drifting, which is a new style of racing. It's not about drag racing anymore. It's about going around corners real fast. Still about racing. Then after 3, it completely goes...
Cliff.
It goes off a cliff. It's about drug running. It's about... heists. It's about international criminals. It's about international hackers. You bring in Ludacris for a lot of these.
More of like a classic
Spy movie.
good guy, bad guy movie.
Action, spy, thriller, car movie, everything that you could spin. It's Die Hard and The French Connection all mashed into one. And then you introduce The Rock in 5, and the rest is history. Once The Rock comes on board, the whole Fast and Furious movies have like, if you look at the profits that they get from when The Rock's in the movies to before that, it's like this. It's straight.
That's kind of what put him on the map as like a legit movie star. Or a box office attraction.
Yeah,
Shall I say?
him and Vin Diesel share. I think Vin Diesel, like there was a whole thing with Vin Diesel and The Rock and them not getting along on set, which I think Vin Diesel's kind of like. As much as I love Vin Diesel, I think he's kind of a crybaby in these scenarios where like he's not getting the spotlight. Do you know Vin Diesel has a clause in one of his contracts for movies that he cannot lose a hand-to-hand fight? He will not on screen lose a hand-to-hand fight.
You gotta get over yourself with that.
You gotta get over yourself. You gotta get over yourself. They start jumping cars between buildings in one of them. There's a scene, the most ridiculous scene in Fast and Furious history, when Dom Toretto climbs on the hood of a car that he's not driving anymore, crashes into a side of the bridge, flies across the bridge to another bridge, midair catches Michelle Rodriguez and lands on the hood of another car. I don't know.
Now, is that how gravity works?
It's not at all how gravity works.
Okay.
And, mind you, moments before, they were also getting chased by a tank on a highway.
Okay.
So, right.
Well,
and a Mustang Mach 1 couldn't outrun a tank, which is the most ridiculous thing ever.
That's the most ridiculous part of the whole
tanks
movie?
go 40 miles an hour max.
Tops.
Yeah, tops. Anyway, Hobbs and Shaw comes around, birthed out of, you have Jason Statham. He is Decker Shaw in the Fast movies. He is a villain. In the most recent movie, he kind of makes friends with the La Familia, the Fast and Furious family, and he kind of like goes head to head, try to one up The Rock. The Rock, of course, keeps tabs on him, and now in this movie, some organization, America, the FBI, CIA, whatever, wants to bring them together to hunt down Idris Elba, who is apparently now just a superhero.
That's what I'm saying. That's where you lost me, though, because I love Idris Elba. Like, I'll watch anything that he's in.
Yeah.
Charles Minor.
Charles Minor. Don't even know
Mike,
people.
Mitch,
like the
pull that
sa-
mic
if
away
you-
from the thing that's
If
got
you
a fan.
don't like the sandwiches, I think there's some more C-shaped bagels in the break room. But
Comes from steel. You can't
yeah,
trust
he's
him.
Superman. He's bulletproof and he has super strength, and that's where it loses me. He's Superman.
But Dom Toretto is a superhero from Jump Street. He's from the first movie. He's a superhero.
He's not bulletproof.
I mean, Dom Toretto in Fast.
He doesn't have superhuman strength.
In Fast 7, the last one with Paul Walker, he literally rips off 2 pieces of steel from a car. Like he rips off 2 pieces of steel from the inside of the
The
car.
insanity, from what I've seen or what I've heard, I haven't watched a lot of the movies, has been there for a while.
Yeah.
It's not like this one's like
I
flipping
haven't
the
seen
script.
him. I haven't seen him past
Fast-
Drift.
Also, Fast 7, when they're in the title, you haven't seen any of the Rock ones? They're in a skyscraper, and this sheik from Dubai has this car locked up in a room up in his penthouse. They go in the room and they have to get something underneath the car. Without hesitation, Vin Diesel walks up to the car and just lifts up one side of the car.
You can lift the car.
And
those cars are probably very light. And he's fucking huge. Have you seen the guys do
It's still like a
I
1,000 pounds.
I would agree with you, but I couldn't walk
that's
up.
believable.
Is it though? He drives a car from one skyscraper to another, and then to another skyscraper through the windows.
I'm not saying that is, obviously.
He's like the $1 million man.
I think lifting a car, I don't think that's very believable.
And they don't even skip a beat. Paul Walker's like, oh, all right, he's gonna lift it. I'm just gonna go on.
They show him pumping iron. Lou Ferrigno moves a car. Have you ever watched Pumping Iron?
This is Lou Ferrigno versus Dominic Toretto.
He's supposed to be just a normal street racer.
Yeah. All right, yeah, but it's
Ludacris.
If it's been done in real
I guess
life.
I'm kind of arguing against myself here, but I'm just like Ludacris in Too Fast, Too Furious. No, I'm trying to set the precedent that like superheroes make sense in this universe, so it does make sense, I guess.
Okay.
Ludacris in Too Fast, Too Furious, Tej, whatever his name is, he I put a little twang on that first one. He runs like a body shop, and he puts on jet ski races. Fast forward to Fast 6, he's a world-class hacker. World-class hacker.
You just learned
knows
it.
everything about hacking.
You're arguing against yourself.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm making the point that superheroes, quote unquote, make sense in this universe.
So the Hobbs Shaw trailer is not out of the ordinary for this family of movies.
And people who have missed it, Idris Elba is basically Inspector
Superman.
Gadget. The $1 million man. He's Superman. He's all these. And he can't fly, but he's like bulletproof, and he's super strong, and he's just a killing machine. The one thing that I will say is, I love the movies. I'm really upset that there's no other movies that fill the void of what the original 3, maybe 4 did with like car culture. There's no more movies like that.
That's what if you're a fan of those movies because of that,
it's all super
lost.
Yeah, it is lost. Like, you can still be a fan of these movies, but it isn't
Not a
what
racing
it isn't.
movie,
It isn't
an action movie.
I mean, it's
not
still
a
like
racing
they're still
movie.
driving cars fast. That's really a core theme of these movies.
Well, I should hope so.
But it's not like in the first movie.
They lose that. I mean, what is it?
In the first movie, Paul Walker, he owes Vin Diesel a 10-second car, so he finds this junker Supra, and they fix it up. They're like building it in the garage. Like that's a part of the movies that I do miss. I still enjoy the movies. I just think that itch needs to be scratched somewhere else. I know the Fast and Furious isn't going to scratch that itch anymore. Just what it is. You don't think this trailer looks delightful? They put "Why Can't We Be Friends" in it with.
No, I think I would see the movie. I would definitely see the movie. But like, am I a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise?
I believe
No.
your tweet was you should be ashamed of yourself if you're still.
It was a very aggressive stance.
It was aggressive.
Yeah, no, I got berated for it. But and then what I say is Paul Walker would be
So put the camera on you.
rolling over in his grave.
That's also not a great tweet.
Huh?
That's not a great tweet.
R.I.P.I.P.
Come on.
Put the camera on you. Say that to the camera. Go ahead. Say that.
No.
Say it. No. Yeah, you don't want to look the camera in the eyes and say that.
No, I
It's a
don't.
terrible thing to
Paul
say.
Walker ever do to you? He's a good guy.
Ryan and I were seeing Phantom of the Opera when Paul Walker died.
You were.
Front row.
So what's your point?
One of the greatest nights in my life was also one of the worst. I love Phantom.
That was great. That's a great job.
I just really like these movies. I think The Rock is a once in a generation actor, and this is like I know that
Actor?
yes. Hear me out.
I think he's a good actor.
I think that you have your who the fuck played Lincoln and in that
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, who I respected Daniel Day-Lewis until I saw Phantom Thread, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I don't know. You have
jumped
your
the shark.
Daniel Day-Lewis's, sure. You have your Tom Hanks's, sure. But I think The Rock is the hardest working man on the planet. Yeah. There's nobody that works harder than The Rock. The Rock, he's I said this to someone on Twitter, he's franchise steroids. He comes on board, everything shoots through the roof. Yep. Yeah, of course he has some duds and things like that, but how does this guy perform at the level he performs and still does all the stuff he does? He hosts a TV show. He's on all these every single movie he does is a blockbuster. There's no like, oh shit, there's a Rock movie coming out this weekend. No, you fucking know a year in advance that Rampage is coming out and he's shooting it. You know in advance that he's a ex-Marine with one leg and he's jumping between skyscrapers.
I mean,
you know his movies are coming out.
It probably doesn't take them that long to film those kind of movies because every movie it's him jumping out of a skyscraper.
Right, so you just reuse that.
One of his
use the
movies
same
is called
shots.
Skyscraper.
It's right, yeah, skyscraper.
Skyscraper. Oh yeah.
And in the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw, there's a big skyscraper scene.
He's
so
running down
it's
it,
just
right?
So the
That's how
Rock.
you usually run down the
So the Rock jumps out. There's other people running down the side of the
You
skyscraper.
gotta ask
But he
the
catches
question: what's in his contract? Jumping out of a skyscraper in his contract?
I think the Rock needs to
Probably.
have a certain amount of time where he's in the air.
Yeah.
Like he's not on the ground. He has to be
where he's
flying.
flying somewhere,
right.
where he's
Yeah.
not
It
Superman.
all started with the rundown when he jumped off the top of that building and put his shoulder through the fucking cement column of the other. Was that
Well,
the
he had
rundown or
momentum,
was
Matt. He
walking
had
tall?
momentum.
Yeah, he had momentum. That's right. Did like a shoulder charge. Anyway, very excited for Hobbs and Shaw. Also, on the flip side, excited for what the next regular Fast because this is Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. I'd like to see what the hell Vin Diesel and the rest of the crew is doing. Michelle Rodriguez and all that.
I agree.
So
I
and
think
also
all
like
three
Get
of
the
us-
Rock.
I thought
I think all
Michelle
three of us are gonna
Rodriguez
see it.
died in one of them.
So Michelle Rodriguez was technically dead in the fourth one, but then she comes back.
Like she just wasn't dead.
She wasn't dead, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, spoilers, but you should watch these movies. You haven't seen any of them, really?
Nah.
I got most of them. I'll
Once
have to let
they
you
made
borrow 'em.
once that cliff came, I didn't want to take the leap.
I gotta tell you though, when The Rock takes over, they're a different movie for sure. And I think that 5 and 6 kind of like the car thing was still a pretty good thing. But 5 is really good. The first one with The Rock, they go to Rio, and the whole thing is it's basically a vault heist. And instead of them just going in the vault and taking what's in the vault, they take the whole vault out of the building and attach it to 2 Dodge Chargers and drive it down the road.
So, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Almost exactly. But Pirates of the Caribbean copied them. That was way after. But yeah, so it's like that. I'm very excited, nonetheless.
I think all three of us are probably going to see it. I'll probably watch it, even
Yeah.
though I might not follow along with the previous movies.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
Jason Statham is a leading man, if I ever saw one. I think that he got his Transporter movies were all good. I like those movies a lot.
Yeah.
For what they, I mean, they're good bad movies. They're like, the first Transporter is just generally a good movie. The other one's got a little ridiculous.
They kind of campy, a little campy.
Right, very campy. Oh, I mean, you want to talk about campy? Look at what's the other movie he did where he had a stale. He had to like keep his
Crank.
Crank. Great movie. Fucking original idea, really cool.
That is a good movie.
He's a great leading man, so I'm glad to see him get like kind of like now he's back in the fold. These Fast movies. This is going to be his third one.
Yeah, that's going to be like a big moneymaker. So
yeah, well, I guess his second and a half. He shows up at the end of 6. He's in 7 and 8. Anyway,
so to wrap up,
yeah,
we always want to wrap up now with Mitch's corner. Mitch, do you have something you want to tell the world?
I actually didn't come up with anything this week, but so
look, you just gotta get up and run away for a second.
I was just stalling. I was just stalling to think of something. But so I was watching. I don't know if you guys seen it yet. Punisher season 2.
No.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
You guys have not seen it
Halfway
yet?
through.
So I just seen it. I just finished it today. And so I guess I can't say anything about it since you guys aren't done with it. But
You can give your
Did you enjoy it?
non-spoiler.
I thought it was really good. I thought that it deserves its third season now after seeing this one. But
I don't think Disney allows it.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
but
that's things like behind the scenes stuff that's going on. It's not the quality of the show.
Yeah,
like because if then Daredevil would have got renewed.
Right, and Jessica Jones would have been canceled.
Yeah. That's true.
Jessica Jones is the only one that's technically besides Daredevil,
Jessica
Punisher,
Jones is not that
that's
good.
still alive. The problem is that Disney has that streaming service looming in like the near future. So
what? So they're just gonna cancel all those shows.
They're gonna cancel all those shows, and they
Off
might
of
bring them
Netflix.
back. Like they could bring them back on the Disney streaming service. They might, they might not. I mean,
As
also
long as
like,
they keep the same people
it's rated
attached to
R, so Disney's a little.
That's
bitch
a pretty.
About that
That's
stuff.
a pretty aggressive show.
Yeah.
But
Sooner than later, they're just gonna absorb everything.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna be rated R anymore.
Sucks.
But we're 6 episodes through Punisher.
So what was the last one that you saw?
Last one we saw was
I haven't seen any.
watched it last night. It was
Good. It's really good. I liked it.
So Frank and the young girl are like living. They were living with Madani.
Madani.
Oh shit, Madani's in it.
Madani. She is
Yeah.
a fox.
Oh, I love Madani.
Madani.
I like the way. I also like the way
Billy
John Bernthal
Russo.
says Madani.
Yeah, Billy Russo like met up with that other soldier at the bar.
Oh yeah.
The guy who's going through therapy with his therapist who's
Yeah.
harboring him. But yeah, so it's like coming to a head. But Frank beat up all the Russians at the gym.
How do you feel? How do you feel
What is it, a
about
hallway scene?
No, gym. It's at the gym.
Oh, all right.
He like beats him up with weights and stuff.
Oh,
It's
nice.
pretty badass.
How do you feel about Pilgrim? That the
Scott Pilgrim.
religious guy.
The thing with that, he's very good. But I've seen that so many times.
So the thing.
But they did give him a little more backstory now with the wife.
Yeah.
And the
and
kids.
he gets. I think by the end, he gets better and better as it goes. But he's one of my favorite characters out of the Marvel things. But he reminds me of he has the hat. Kind of looks like a little like a cowboy hat, a little bit resembles. But it reminds me of Once Upon a Time in the West, Charles Bronson. Every time Charles Bronson would appear, or like he was getting his guns drawn, ready to go, like this airy, like kind of like or he would play like this harmonica or something. I forgot what it was.
So something would introduce him into the scene.
Yeah, and it was always the same music, and it's very similar to this guy.
Yeah, what they're doing
To this
with him.
guy, it's almost the same exact thing, and that's just what it reminded me of. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they took it from, because even the music is extremely similar.
Yeah.
He is
And that's
very
all I
good
can
in that
think
role.
about. It's good. I like it so far. I don't want to ruin anything.
And John Bernthal is just the goddamn man.
I
He's
love John
so
Bernthal.
good. He's so good. And me and Holly were talking about it last night. Like, do you think he does his own stunts, his own fight scenes? It's shot so tight, it seems like it.
Yeah.
There's very few scenes where it's like the
think he
camera's to his
does.
back.
Yeah. I would say he probably does.
I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, he's young enough. But he's I don't know. He's an intimidating guy, but he's a guy that you're always rooting for.
Yeah.
Which fits that's a character, and he's not a bad guy, but that was a good one. Yeah, you got to get on it. So
I gotta watch it. It's on my list of stuff.
Yeah, you gotta get on that. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. I liked it.
Well, good Mitch's corner.
Good Mitch's corner.
Next week I'll have something
prepared.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
So I believe that is a official wrap for episode 70 of the Average Nobody's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we are on YouTube, youtube.com/The Average Nobodies. We're on Twitter @Average Nobodies. This podcast is available on Stitcher Radio, iTunes. Go into any Apple store in the Northeast, and you'll be able to find it.
Yeah.
We also have the blog, averagenobodies.com. So if you're listening, if you're watching, however you are viewing this or listening to this, we thank you. And I hope everyone has a great weekend until we meet again. I know we're taking a little break.
We're going to, I don't know if we're going to do we're definitely not going to do the video, but we might still do an audio podcast coming up. I have a work trip in New York for, my company's doing Toy Fair, biggest toy convention in the world, I believe.
I'm surprised they still have those.
Yeah, it's really for, I guess, for, I don't want to get too deep into this, but it's like really for like, you know, like Mattel being like, I need manufacturers in China. Like they have like things like that. So it's like their business. It's not really like, you know, Toys R Us doesn't go there obviously anymore and like do like that. But like, so Amazon's a big place to sell toys. Yeah, it's very soon. But anyway, so I'll be doing that. So I think we will have audio podcasts. We'll see if we can get Mitch looped in on those too. We'll get him in there.
Awesome.
But the video podcast will come back end of February. We'll get it done. Yeah, definitely. So.
Sounds great. Right in just in time for the Oscars.
Yes, exactly.
All right, everyone.
That's it.
I was going to say something, and I just decided to be quiet.
All right, everyone.
What an ending.
That was good. All right, Mitch, hit stop on that.